Do you need to repower your boat and you're debating, all right, should I get a Yamaha outboard? Should I get a Suzuki? Is there a video on the internet that is going to be honest enough to compare the two with maybe someone that's experienced enough to have the knowledge to break it down? That's what's great about this video, because we're in Reedville, Virginia at Jets Marine. We're with Bubba Wilkins, who has sold how many Suzukis and Yamahas over the years?
Over 10.
Okay, we're talking thousands. In this video, we're gonna do an honest comparison of the two, and hopefully by the end you'll have a sense as to which one claims king of the seas. So Bubba, when somebody is comparing the two brands, it's easy to get caught up in the mess. What are some considerations that they should be thinking about that would dictate one versus the other, or are they the same thing?
No, difference between Ford and Chevrolet. It's
okay.
You know, you have your brand recognition on both, and a guy that drives a Ford doesn't want to drive a Chevrolet.
Yes.
It's vice versa. So outboard motors, you know, it's based on brand and what you like. In order to switch brands, it's going to have to be price oriented.
Yes.
On there, Yamaha has done a great job with leading the market in outboards and technology. Mercury has done a good job with what they've been doing over. They're the oldest manufacturer that's in the country.
Yeah. So when
Suzuki is good. All of them are good. It's just a difference in price and basically what's going on under the hood.
Yeah. So let's talk about Yamaha, and then we'll shift to Suzuki. Okay. So when you think about Yamaha, what are some of the, tell us about the warranty. Tell us what you love about their engines and about what they're doing in the marketplace.
Well, Yamaha they are the footprint of the outboards right now. So they are what everybody's going after as far as technology. They are leaders in it. They don't have the higher horsepowers like other brands do, but 425.
Their top horsepower is what?
425.
425.
It is.
So there are some out there now that have I think there's like the 600s.
It is.
Out there at this point.
It is.
All right, which is pretty crazy. But most people watching this don't need 600s. Most people don't even need 425s, right?
No, the best-selling engine that's out here is going to be a 115 to a 150.
Yes.
In there, and that's industry. That's the industry. So. A boat that could have a single 300, if they're going to do some offshore fishing, they're going to put twin 150s on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
In there.
And so in this case, what else, when you say the technology, is they have really been the leader in technology, what does that mean? Right.
So when you start to look at the feature and benefits of the engine, under the hood, single induction 4.2 liter engine, those are their V6s. When they get to the V8s, it's 5.8 liter, heavier motor, but it's for heavier boats. Freshwater flushing attachments that are very easy to get to.
Here's the thing. I've got a small, I believe it's a Suzuki 9.9. It doesn't have this on it.
No, it doesn't.
It drives me crazy.
You got to put it in a bucket of water to flush it.
It doesn't have that. Because when you're looking to flush it, when you're looking to, let's say, start at the beginning of the season before you put it on your John boat, you can't do that so easily. And I want to be able to just turn on easily. And those things that clamp onto the engine, they never work really good.
No, they don't.
They suck. So I wish everybody did this. This is such a simple thing to do.
They do. Yamaha's is very, it's accessible when you're either when you're in the boat or out the boat. They have one flushing port.
Yeah.
Suzuki has two. So they have one where you can do it outside the boat, or you can do one inside the boat.
Inside the boat. That's pretty slick too.
Yeah.
So Suzuki has these at what horsepower?
They range from, I think the Flushing port starts at a 25.
All right, so if you're watching this Suzuki, I'd appreciate on my 9.9 next time.
Yeah.
All right, cool. What else in terms of technology?
Drive-by-wire technology, older engine, and they still have it, push-pull cables. What that does is you feel the resistance in a push-pull cable, where drive-by-wire is the newest technology now. Everybody's using it in very easy shifting, good hard shifting. So if you've had an outboard before, you go to put it in gear, it goes as it goes into gear. Now it's clunk, it goes into gear. So it's just a ease. It's a peace of mind in there, and it does have the capability. This engine here, actually Suzuki or Yamaha, both of them have the capability of electronic gauges that do everything that you need to do. Troll, that's another one. So if you're talking about trolling, these engines have troll modes on there where you can take and set the engine RPM down or set it up. When you get to a digital engine that has the digital electronic control, you can set it to what speed that you calculate by your GPS, and it'll shift the engine in and out as it gains that speed or keeps that speed. And now Yamaha's come out with a digital electronic steering engine. So it's all plug and play. It's an electronic helm, electronic cylinder back here. And what that does is it does give a zero resistant steering. You feel no torque. But also it's a plug and play. If you have multiple engines on your boat, they have a joystick control where you can sit there and keep your boat in one spot, or you can take and makes it easier for you to dock the boat. So the engine is moving around to get it to where it needs to be.
So in terms of warranty?
Yamaha's backed with a 3-year warranty from the factory. They do have an extended service, which is done through them, not through an insurance company. There's 1, 2, 3 year on that. It's called a YES, Yamaha Extended Service.
Right, and as we'll discuss in a second, that's less as a standard than the Suzuki, correct?
Yeah, Suzuki has a 5-year factory warranty in-house.
Okay, good. In terms of serviceability, would you say it's easier or more difficult or the same to service a Yamaha engine versus a Suzuki?
Both of them are going to be the same. You still have your gear case oil, so you start at the bottom. That's a standard hypoid style gear case lube in there. You drain that. The reason why you want to drain it is you want to check, see if you have the fishing line. Fishing line gets caught up in your prop. Next thing you know, you got water in the lower unit. The lower unit ain't cheap. I mean, depending on size, something like this is a lower unit, it's $4,500. In there, and then you have your oil, just like you do in your car. You have an oil and filter. You change that yearly. Fuel filters. Clean fuel is a key to a happy outboard motor, or any happy motor. With these marine grade fuels that are going on now, and with ethanol that's out there, ethanol is an alcohol and it introduces water into the system. Well, when you got a boat on the water, obviously you're going to have water. So you've got fuel water separators that are in the boat that are canister filters. You can get them with clear bowls so you can track what's going on in there and just look at the fuel that's going in there.
All right, cool. Professor, anything you wanted to add about the Yamaha or any questions you had about it?
No, the only thing just cosmetically I see is the hood here has a lot of orange peel in it. It's not very smooth, you know what I mean? And if you're a real anal kind of guy and you want everything to be super shiny, you know what I mean? It shines, but it has orange peel, you know? And that's just my, initial take on the hood there. But Bubba, do you see any difference in, I know the general mechanics of the motor is the same, but the Yamaha versus the Suzuki, do you see where any other external working parts wear out more on one than they do the other? Say like lower units or anything like that? Not
really. The hard parts of the outboard motor is what you're talking about, and they have industry standards that they want to try to keep. The biggest problem we've had at outboards is corrosion.
Right.
So as the years have gone by, they've added a lot of stainless steel hardened parts. As you know, stainless steel is brittle by itself, so
Yeah.
they do hardened parts, seals, double seals, just to take that consideration. If you get grit in there, at least you got a secondary seal to protect it. Internal components on the engine, automotive style pistons, automotive style crankshaft, stainless steel drive shafts, stainless steel shift rods, stainless steel prop shafts. Anodes, internal anodes, is a big thing. Because it used to be years ago, the engines didn't last long enough.
Because they would eat themselves off from the inside out. Now you have those anodes inside.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead now and let's take a look at the Suzuki as well, because there's some things that we want to point out, because visually too, you have some options with the Suzuki that we like. So let's take a look at that. All right, so let's look at the Suzuki, just point out a couple different elements to it. Go back to the warranty for a second. I think this is pretty relevant. So the Suzuki has a superior warranty to the Yamaha as a standard. Tell us what that is again, Bubba.
It's 5 years, in-house.
5 years.
In-house. And keyword, in-house.
So what does that mean for the viewer?
All right, for the viewer, it means with a consumer that purchase it, it means that if they purchase it from a Suzuki dealer, that Suzuki dealer is going to take care of the warranty on there, because they're going to be in contact with the manufacturer doing this. So versus having a secondary source to get the warranty from, it's just like your automotive insurance policies. You damage your car, you wait for the adjuster to come out, and you had his beck and call. So.
And you know, if you're going to have a problem, Professor, oftentimes, if I'm being realistic here, it's oftentimes in between that 3 and 5 year, not so much in that first 3 years. I mean, you know, because that's when you're going to start to see things happen.
Yeah, everything's brand new, everything's nice and greased, everything's being taken care of in that first few years. And you know, once you might start lagging a little bit on your maintenance, or not quite taking this care of it as good as you did when it was brand new. That's when you're going to start seeing problems.
Maintenance is key.
Yeah, maintenance is key in any boat.
Yeah, big key.
Hard to
Now,
get out and walk home.
Yeah.
This, of course, is the white unit. She's got, and this seems to be the trend with a lot of boats. Does this come as a standard with Suzuki, and was that also not a standard with Yamaha? So tell us about visually what the difference is in terms of cost.
The standard color on a Suzuki is going to be black. The standard color on Yamaha is going to be their gray. Suzuki, you can upgrade the 200 that's on here. White color, just like you see it, it's a $200.
So it's a couple $100. Is that the same for Yamaha? If you want a white Yamaha, it's a couple $100 extra?
2,000.
2,000 extra. So that's huge.
It is. It is.
I'd like to say, why is that? Do you even know, or are you allowed to say on camera?
No, I don't. I have no idea.
That's a huge difference. That's crazy. I mean, I would do it in a snap if it was a couple $100, a couple $1,000. It makes you think hard about it. It's like, how much I love that.
I mean, that could be 10% of your whole purchase.
Yeah,
You know
it
what
could,
I mean?
yeah, I mean, it could be with certain units. And is there anything else that you feel is relevant to point out about Suzuki in terms of the way they do what they do? And of course, is it easier to get a Suzuki right now in this post-COVID era? Is it, are people, and I know things can change by the hour, but have you been, as a dealer, more likely to be able to get a Suzuki than a Yamaha, or has it been about as difficult for either one?
It's been difficult for both of them. You see a lot of, most of the Yamahas being shipped to the manufacturers, and they're not worried about the box engine dealers. Suzuki, I've been doing this a long time, and I've seen these ups and downs in here, and Suzuki is not hard to get, but it's not easy to get either. You have to know the business in order for you to really be able to have engines right now. The Yamaha is a great brand. Their focus is on the manufacturers.
Yeah. Which I understand they kind of have to do that. That's the bread. That's the bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at boat companies that buy thousands a year versus a box engine dealer buying hundreds. So
let's talk
it's a numbers game.
Yeah. Speaking of numbers, let's talk about them. And I know it's going to vary, but let's say 150 versus 150 and 200 versus 200. Price-wise, are they about the same?
No, Suzuki is about 10% cheaper.
10% less.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at what the typical retail, let's say repower of a 200 is, for a Yamaha, that would be roughly, and again, I'm not holding you to it.
Right around the 18.5 to 19 mark.
Yep.
In Suzuki, you're going to be somewhere around the 17.5 to 18.
Okay, so about a 10% pricing difference. That is really, really helpful. So ultimately, would you say, Bubba, that one is better than the other? Or would you, as the consumer, knowing what you know, and you know these inside and out, I know I'm kind of putting the pressure on you here, would you be just as comfortable with either one, assuming there were no other factors that would dictate the choice?
That's why I'm in the business. We sell both brands. We're very fortunate to sell both brands. They're the best that are on the market now. I would say if you were purchasing a motor, I would price you out on both, and I would look at you and say, hey, which one fits your wallet the best? Which one do you think? 5-year versus 3-year? $2,000 more versus $2,000 less? Brand recognition, there's more service facilities, granted, because Yamaha has been around here longer. But if you're here locally, you're gonna get service.
Some really, really good points, I think, Professor. So really what we've got to consider, just to cap this off, everyone, is we know that price-wise, we're gonna spend less on a Suzuki, we're gonna get a better warranty, and if we want the glorious white, we're gonna spend a lot less if we want that white engine. But that being said, if you think you might ever move, and you might not be using the original seller, having a Yamaha dealer close by is more likely, certified Yamaha dealer, than a Suzuki, simply based on the amount of time they've been in the game.
Exactly, and I mean, Suzuki's been here for a long time as well. They set up mom and pop shops that really weren't, they were really not in the marine industry. So now you're starting to see, since Suzuki dropped their automotive side and they're focusing more on the marine side, you're starting to see a lot of that stuff go away, and they're going to true marine dealers now. That are going to take care of the customer, not a farm equipment store that doesn't know anything about outboards, but hey, has a buddy that wants to buy one.
Right, and now one thing I have noticed, I've seen a lot more of these Suzukis on a lot of commercial guys' boats.
The commercial guys are the guys. I can tell you, you look at them, they'll try everything for $5, and I can tell you, they'll leave brands and they'll go try them, and they always switch back, and they always come back to either Yamaha or Suzuki.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Good observations, good learnings, and hopefully this was helpful to you, and hopefully now, like you just saw a video that ideally is as honest as anything you're gonna find online and gives you a pretty good sense as to the choice that you should make. And so hopefully now we've settled the debate between Yamaha versus Suzuki, and hopefully too, you've enjoyed this, that you like, you subscribe, that you're part of our community here at Saltwater Fishing University. And of course, make sure you book a charter with us if you want to come offshore in North Carolina. Slip number 92 out of Pirates Cove Marina. That's speechlesssportfishing.com with this guy all summer long. What a fun time on that blue water.
Can't wait.
In a little bit bigger boat than these guys. And until the next time, everyone, stay salty.